So here it is. We got a truck for Kyle Busch that we're working on, and it just got back from the interior shop. So I'm gonna head out and talk to Matt, and we'll talk about the truck and details on it, because we haven't actually done anything on it since we had the truck here. So we'll give you guys a good look at it. And while I have you, make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel, just so you guys can stay up to date with things that we do on a day-to-day basis, and you know, check out some of the projects we're working on, some product videos that you guys can, you know, get some suspension to put on your rides at home. So I have Matt here, one of our project fabricators and project leads. So here it is. It's a 56 Chevy. I guess that's a 3100.
I'm not sure what they would consider these, but yeah, 56 Chevy Truck for Kyle Busch. Pretty standard as far as truck builds go. Big block Chevy, automatic. It's got a full chassis under it, shot wheels, coilovers.
So how big is the big block?
I believe that's a 454, and then it's got an automatic trans behind it. Kept the body, you know, mostly true to the original form. There is a lot of work in the bed though. We fixed some of the bed proportions. The whole front half of the truck is pretty much original. Just cleaned up the grill fitment, the headlight fitment, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, these trucks too, they have such an iconic look, and the body lines are just so nice. So I mean, cars and trucks of that era were just so clean to begin with. So I mean, you don't really need to deviate from that.
Yeah.
So let's go to the back and talk about what you did back there, because I mean, I think it's some pretty amazing stuff. You did some great work on it.
Yeah, it's just these trucks always look kind of funny as far as the rear window proportions. The cab always looks really tall when you look at the back of the truck. So the bed was actually raised several inches, and then in raising the bed we had to stretch the fenders and the steps back down to line those up with the rocker, and then it also happens to line up this body line with the door.
To that one there.
You know, so originally that fender would have been several inches lower than the body line on the door, so just kind of fixed some of the proportions.
And you extended out these side steps too, right?
The side steps are the same general size, but this whole section has been lowered again to line up this.
So everything's nice and
with
flush
the rocker,
and neat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the beds are kind of, the way they're put together from the factory, you know, they're just entirely bolted together. They don't have a real great shape. So in doing all that, we also built stake pockets, did a bunch of work to the tailgate, you know, as far as fitment and tidying everything up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think, you know, that's just one of those things where if you don't know these trucks that well, while they are fairly large modifications, it's subtle. You wouldn't really notice that unless you really knew what you were looking at. But I mean, I think it looks amazing.
Even stuff like this, you know, this would have been just an open hole from the factory and sheet metal. So this has been plated, and this is a machine plug welded in, and it also helps to keep the end of the rail rigid, keep the shape nice. And then again, we built the stake pockets. This has all been reinforced to keep a real nice straight line. All the seams on the tailgate have been welded up and bodywork, so it all looks original, but it's all been tidied up.
So how do you actually get the tailgate open? Do you guys do any tricks on that?
No, it's thumb screws. There's threaded inserts. So he wanted the tailgate to be a little bit more rigid. Obviously, it's not something you're opening and closing to load much stuff. I mean, the most you're typically doing with stuff like this is a cooler and your chairs.
Yeah, if that. So what kind of wood is this? Is it just?
It's just oak.
Okay.
We did end up having to raise the bed floor about an inch, and then went through and routed all of this stuff out so that it's really nice and flush. Made this gas door, so there's your fuel fill. We had to make this whole ring and plate to all match the factory trim.
I mean, it looks factory.
Yeah. And you got your fasteners here. You know, these were originally a carriage bolt and a washer, so we machined top plates for them, welded them, polished them so everything matches.
So essentially, it's still a carriage bolt, but it's a little fancier.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks amazing. What else can we talk about here? I mean, we might as well hop in the interiors. That's the reason why it's back. You know, it was out to M&M Hot Rod Interiors. They're in Holly Pond, Alabama. We pretty much send them all of our builds. So yeah, M&M did the interior. They kept it nice and clean and simple. You know, the diamond stitching, leather with some carbon accents, and of course red stitching to match. So they did, you know, the bench seat, they did the headliner, carpet, and they even made some custom door panels as well. And I think they just, everything fits. It's nice. It has like an exotic feel to it.
Yeah, the door panels turned out nice because, you know, originally these just had a real short panel up here, and it was all painted, so all the door was exposed. But here, you know, they made a full panel top to bottom. It's more like a later model car. Nice armrest, and again, they match the stitching in the door. It's a pretty clean interior overall.
I like it, and the stitching is so straight too, and you know, they always do an amazing job. This is actually the first time I'm actually getting a really good look at it. I like it. You know, it fits the build. Everything's very elegant with this, and clean and neat.
Yeah, it's just traditional enough, but still updated. It's got the nice touches, the shot wheels, and just all the small exterior modifications that, again, if you don't know these trucks, you probably might not necessarily notice, but it just gives it a clean overall feel.
Who makes those gauges too? Is that
Those are
Dakota Digital?
Yep. It's got a retro sound radio. It's got a pretty good stereo in it. Subs, infinity speakers, component speakers, and stuff like that. So
you hit, I know you hit the sub back in here. So is that a 10?
They're 12s, JL audio.
And even, you know, back here, I mean, you won't normally see this, but everything's finished out. M&M, you know, Wayne and Pam over there went ahead and made sure everything was finished, nice and neat and wrapped.
Yeah, did a good job of hiding everything. The amps are behind these panels here. You've got an amp on the left and right side. So there's two 12s, and of course, again, it's got the component speakers up front. So there's a lot of electrical components in this. Of course, it's got the Holly in it as well.
The Dominator.
Yep, that's mounted.
So
under the
that's
seat.
yeah, everything's all tucked under the floor, and
Yep. So if you pull the seat out, you've got a nice laid out, basically a electrical component area. Everything's real tidy and stuff like that.
yeah,
Holly, MSD, and then of course, like I said, your amps, your stereo stuff, all that's nice and hidden. Which is, you know, a regular cab truck is hard to do because you run out of space really quick.
exactly. Yeah, there's not much room back there. You're not like tucking everything away. So nice, neat, clean. I mean, I still just can't get over the stitching. Everything looks gorgeous. I'm a sucker for diamond stitching. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, the colors worked out good on this too. The black and red, you know, between the interior, the black and polished wheels and everything, it's got a nice feel to it.
Yeah. And of course, big brakes as well. So, you know, Kyle Busch being in NASCAR, you know, big AP racing brakes. They have their J-hook rotors. And like Matt keeps mentioning, the shot wheels, you know, they're you know, modernized but retro at the same time. They just have a good look to them. So we're excited about this truck. You know, we're coming down to the wire on it. We're almost wrapped up. I know we're waiting on, do we have the bumpers back yet?
They are here in copper, I believe.
Okay.
Test fit one more time before they're chromed.
So yeah, we'll, that's usually the process we do. We'll take the bumpers, we'll put them in copper so they're easier to work on. We'll shape them, fit them, make sure everything's nice and neat and clean. And then we'll send them over to our friends at Advanced Plating. And, you know, they'll do the final chrome and make sure everything's polished and perfect. So they do an amazing job, and we use them for chroming on basically every single build.
Yeah,
so there isn't much left on this. Of course, you know, once we get it wrapped up and everything's together, you know, Jason will work on drivability tuning, and you know, there really isn't much to do with this. It's you know, all
going home before Christmas, so
yeah. So we're coming down to the wire on it. Like I said, we're wrapping it up soon, and Kyle will be able to drive around and enjoy it. So I know the truck, the story behind it, I guess this was it was him and his father's, him and Tom.
yeah, I believe they bought it for him when Kyle was in high school out in Arizona, I think it was. So
Okay.
he's toted this thing around with him for years and years and years, and finally got to a point he just really wanted it finished up. It's something they had started a long time ago, and we got the truck kind of in a partially complete stage and got it to where it is now. So again, it's been a long time, but he'll finally be able to cruise it around and enjoy it. So we'll be glad to see that.
Yeah, so only a couple months left now, and if you guys are local to Mooresville or Charlotte, North Carolina, you'll probably see this driving around the street, because I mean that's what he does. He drives them. I know even that 69 Camaro we built for him, he still has that. He still drives it. So that's pretty much it. That wraps up Kyle Busch's 56 Chevy truck. Thank you, Matt, for showing us around and talking about it. But you guys stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll have more videos coming for you soon.